You know this fairy tale in which the Wicked Witch asks the mirror if she's the prettiest one in the world? I used to think it only existed in books, until I came across something truly mysterious and very strange myself. My name is Dakota, and I'm 15 years old, the same age when you realize that childhood is behind you. And you're at the coolest time of the beginning of teenage life. The first parties, the first crushes, shopping alone with friends. At this time, you want to be prettier, cuter. So many girls start learning how to wear makeup, style their own hair, and other things teenage girls do. I was not left out. At first, I took my mom's makeup, put lessons on YouTube, and tried to repeat what they showed on the video lessons. It was incredibly difficult. It was especially difficult to draw wings. I could sit for an hour drawing and still end up with a crying panda. But after a while, I started to get the hang of it, and my mom bought me my first makeup kit. I was very happy. Beautiful shimmering eyeshadow, bright lip gloss, and crazy gentle blush. My mom told me not to get addicted to makeup and makeup on my days off from school. The days went by. Vacations were coming, and I went with my friends to the bookstore. Our teacher asked us to read a couple of stories while we were on vacation. We had fun planning the day and went in to search. After walking around a few stores, we unfortunately could not find what we were looking for, and the saleswoman suggested a place where we would probably find the books we wanted. My friends said that they didn't want to go anywhere else and that it would be easier for them to download everything from the internet. But I decided to find what I needed and went alone to the right address. After half an hour, an old shabby building stood in front of me, on the first floor with a bookstore. I went inside as if I was in another world. All around was half darkness, and the shelves were literally full of books. There were books not only on the shelves, but also on the chairs, in cabinets, and even on the floor. Some were even covered with cobwebs. It seemed to me that no one had been in the shop for a long time, and no one had cleaned the place for a long time. Behind the counter, I was greeted by an elderly grandfather. He probably works here since the opening of the store, I thought. "Welcome to Joe's. Can I help you?" he asked with a smile. "Hello, I need 2 books by Theodore Dreiser, Financer and American Tragedy. If you do not have these books, then I'll go." I was ready for the answer that there were no such books available, but then I heard, "Dreiser? Of course there is. It's a great choice. Alas, young people aren't reading it now. It's a classic. It's a masterpiece." The man said something going into the depths of the room and the darkness. It was not visible. While he was looking for books, I looked around, and an unusual beautiful mirror, carefully placed in one of the shelves, caught my attention. It was the most beautiful mirror I had ever seen. It was painted with incredibly beautiful patterns and had a thin handle decorated with colorful stones. I was enchanted. At that moment, the salesman came up and, seeing how I was looking at the mirror, offered to buy it back. I shyly asked the price, because such things are certainly not cheap. The old man said the amount equal to the cost of my lipstick. Without thinking, I bought books and a mirror, and after thanking the salesman, I left the store. When I came home, I immediately began to wipe the mirror and looked at my reflection. Having put the mirror on the stand, I decided to put on my makeup. I was especially pleased to wear makeup and look at myself in this mirror, as if I looked even more beautiful and lovelier. After putting on my makeup, I went down to the kitchen, where my family was already eating dinner. My parents looked at me in puzzlement. The first question my father asked, "Darling, what happened to your face?" I did not understand what he was talking about, and looked in the mirror that hung in the room. My forehead was covered with red spots. How is it possible? I had just put on makeup and didn't even see it on my face. Mom suggested that I may be having an allergic reaction to some product, and that's why I have a rash. Mom gave me a pill for allergies and assured that tomorrow everything will be gone. I calmly believed it, but I did not know what surprises are in store for me. The next morning, I started getting ready to go to school. I took a new mirror and looked in it. Excellent, all gone. No spots or rashes. Humming a song, I gathered my backpack and got dressed, went out of the house to the school bus, which was already parked by the curb. After waving to the driver, I stepped inside and headed for the empty seat. I smiled in response. I saw strange expressions on the faces of the school children sitting there. Some of them crinkled their eyes, some of them giggled, and some turned away from me. What on earth is going on? I sat down next to my classmate Tom. He also acted strange, as if my sight frightened him. "Hi, Tom. Why do you look like you've seen a frog?" "A frog would look better," he said squeamishly, and moved away from me. Only after these words I realized that something was wrong with my face. Frantically, I turned on the camera on my phone and saw Oh my God! What happened? My whole face was covered in red, horrible spots. It was like my face was swollen. I couldn't figure out where they came from, as I had just looked in the mirror and everything was perfect. I immediately got off the bus and rushed home. I started to call my mom, and after she answered, I was in tears and told her about my problem. My parents came immediately and took me to the hospital. In addition to the spots, my whole body began to itch badly, as if someone had bitten me or hit me with a nettle. The doctor saw my condition and told me to urgently get tested and to make an ultrasound. Maybe a reaction to something I ate. They gave me an injection, took some tests, and a couple of hours later, the doctor came with the results. You are absolutely healthy. Tests were normal. No dangerous substance or bites. No poisoning. Nothing. I don't even know what gave you such a terrible rash. Tell me, what have you been doing for the last 2 or 3 days? What did you eat? I started to talk about everything that was going on, but I couldn't remember anything strange. The doctor said that I had to be kept under observation, and if there was no rash tomorrow, I could be discharged. The night at the hospital passed quickly. In the morning, I was tested again, and again, everything was perfect. The rash on my face was gone, as if it had never happened. Very strange. So strange that I became afraid for myself. I was discharged, and we went home. My mother said it would be better if I stayed home for a while. I was in my room and took out a book. I sneezed, and as soon as I opened it, the dust from the pages got right onto my nose. God, how many years have these books been lying around before I bought them? I sneezed again and again. Could it be allergies again? I held the mirror up to my face, and right in front of my eyes, I saw my face becoming blotchy again. I looked at myself in horror, and at that very moment, my reflection looked back at me. Ah! I threw the mirror straight to the floor and screamed as hard as I could. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Suddenly, I felt a rush of fever and then sweat, and it was gone. I ran to the mirror that hung in the bathroom and was surprised to see a completely clean face without any spots and rashes. Something told me that there was some connection with the mirror. A mystery. That's all. I began to pick up the shards from the floor, and the inscription on the handle of the small print appeared to me. A reflection you will never forget. I frantically gathered up what was left of this truly magical mirror and threw it away without any regrets. I'm not setting foot in any more vintage thrift stores. If you liked the video, then leave it a like and comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe.